Can you sell to a small audience, like to less than 500 followers? The answer is abso-friggin-lutely. I have a small audience on all platforms, but something that I have been able to do is sell successfully. In doing so, I've been able to take my son and I out of a basement with no plumbing to a 3-bedroom house. In this video, I'm going to show you how. So let's get started. Number 1, connect with your audience. Connection is key. If you want to sell to a small audience, you've got to connect. Take a shot for every time I say the word connect. People are not going to buy from you until they know you, like you, and trust you. These things aren't possible without taking time to build that connection. How do you do that on social media? 1, you can do this by utilizing my favorite feature on Instagram, which is your stories. Stories gives you the ability to connect with your audience in real time in a low pressure situation. The videos are only there for 24 hours, so it's not like you have to make it aesthetically pleasing for your feed. You just have to make sure that it's something that connects with your people. It doesn't have to be niche related. You can share about things that are completely not related to what you do at all. For example, I am a huge anime and Marvel nerd. I will sit there and talk about a recent Marvel movie that I've been watching or my obsession with Venom in general. I will talk about a new video game that I'm playing. Sometimes I talk about mom life and how I'm tired as all hell and that I haven't put my laundry away in 2 weeks. That has nothing to do with social media marketing, but what it does do is it humanizes me to my audience. 2, shows my audience that they can show up and be awkward too. But 3, it also shows them that I'm a real person that they can connect with. This is going to increase the likelihood that they end up trusting me. Trust is a key part of making those sales. You cannot make sales without building that trust. This is more true for some niches than others. For example, if you sell a $3 ebook, it doesn't take as much trust. If you're selling a $1,000 course or a $2,000 service, it's gonna take a lot more trust. Depending on where you are on the spectrum changes the amount of trust required, but regardless, that trust is necessary. A second way that you can build that trust is going live. Going live is an incredible way to really build that trust with your audience. It gives you the ability to connect with them in real time and build up that connection with them, to build up that trust. They can ask you questions, they can see you say or they can see you kind of in real time struggling to answer something or having to deal with stuff. It gives them, again, the ability to really connect with you and see your humanness. But it also helps them to feel like they know you, as if they're sitting in the room with you, building up that connection and having those conversations with you.
But Karleigh, no one's in my audience. No one is gonna watch me go live.
That's perfect. This is your opportunity to try and fail and be cringy and be awkward and have no one see it. Take the time to do this in your live and also utilize stories to show up and get used to showing up on camera while no one is watching. This gives you the ability to practice, to be in it real time, to have kind of that real life pressure without a bunch of people watching you. But 2, this is also going to help you algorithmically, because as people do watch, they're going to engage. And the more they engage, the more it's gonna bump your live to more people, the more they're going to see your stuff. This is going to be extremely beneficial for you as you build your audience, let alone sell to them. Going live gives you the ability to name drop your product, to talk to them, to answer those questions, and really show up for your audience. Get in your DMs. Take the time to answer all the DMs that you get, but also take time to DM the people that are following you. Take the time to reach out and say, hey, thank you so much for following me. Is there any content you'd love to see? Do you have any questions? Or you could take the time to go on their profile and see something that you guys might have in common and send a DM. Again, this is gonna help you algorithmically because it's gonna show you guys that you two are communicating, and it's gonna tell the algorithm and the platform, oh, hey, these two must like each other. We're gonna show their content to each other more. And we're gonna put it in front of even more people. But again, this is also a really great way to answer those questions and build that intimate connection. There are people that started following me that I consider friends now because of the conversations that we've had in the DMs. You also need to be willing to engage. While I have the super simple engagement plan that you can find down in the description that walks you through how to build your engagement in less than 15 minutes a day on social media, this goes 2 ways. 1, you wanna make sure that on all of your posts, you have a call to action. Either you're asking them to do something, like go to the link in your bio, sign up for your freebie, send you a DM, but you also want to have calls to action that just ask them to engage. Drop an emoji, share their opinion, A, B, or C. By asking these questions and engaging, you're gonna get valuable information on the culture of your audience, what they like and what they don't like, and these are things you can reference down the road. This is a really great way to get inside the head of your audience and build that connection, so then that way when it comes time to sell, those people are ready to buy from you and they're excited. Build that connection connection and you want to be pitching your product regularly, like a lot. My rule of thumb is that if you are not being annoying, you are not doing it right. You've got to be willing to talk about it a lot. And what I mean by this is that you need to have a strategy to where you're talking about it in your stories daily, in your posts every day, name dropping it some way, somehow. It doesn't need to be, hey, buy my stuff. It's just talking about it regularly. This is going to get you in the habit of talking about your product and selling, so that way when those people who you have connected with are ready to buy from you, they know how to do it because you're like, oh, okay, I have this course, I have this service, I have this ebook, I have this shirt that I made, whatever it is. Your people now know how to buy from you and they're more primed to buy from you because they've built that connection. You also have to be willing to be cringy, be willing to be salesy, be willing to get it wrong. I have a podcast episode that walks you through the 5 things that you should not do on social media. But guess what? In being consistent, you're probably going to do those 5 things, and that's okay. I would rather have you showing up consistently, doing all of the things that you should not be doing, because that means you're actually trying. You're going to learn, you're going to fail, you're going to be awkward, you're going to be cringy, but now you're going to get that experience. And you're going to do it again, and it'll be a little bit less cringy. And then you're going to do it again, and it'll be a little bit less cringy. The more you do it, the easier it will get. But if you're not willing to be awkward, and if you're not willing to be uncomfortable, then it's not going to be beneficial for you. You're not going to get those sales, regardless of the audience size that you have. If you're not willing to be awkward and be cringy, you're not going to get good at it, which means you're not ever going to make any of those sales. You also have to be willing to keep showing up when nothing happens. Social media is not something that gives you results overnight. It just does not work that way. It doesn't happen in the sense of where you just get immediate results because you show up this way or that way. When you show up on social media, you have to be willing to keep going and keep doing the work even when it feels like nothing is happening. Your audience is there. They are paying attention. But it takes some time to build up that connection and build that audience. As you begin to sell, you're going to get better at your pitch. As you begin to connect with your audience, you're going to build that relationship. Eventually, those 2 things are going to come together and they're going to meet, and people will buy. But you've got to be willing to show up even when nothing is happening. Selling with a small audience is not impossible. If it was, I would not be where I am today. And you should not wait until you have a large audience to start selling. There are so many people with huge audiences that never make sales because they don't have that connection. If you're willing to take the time to connect, willing to put in this work, then you will make those sales. Once you've connected with your audience, the next thing that you need to do is have a strategy where you're actually showing up consistently on social media. And if you're not sure how to go about that, check out this video right here where I walk you through how to create a simple marketing strategy, because that's going to be what helps you get through to your people and have them buy from you once you've built that connection.